I will show you the autolock vena thing to you. This is what your autolock tool. This is called the ADT tools basically. Okay. So what happens? The protein you have to. So while going for the docking, okay, or simulation, anything, we need to prepare the input. And what is this input preparation? The protein and the ligand both need to be prepared. Okay, we will talk about the autolock vena. So while preparing the input for the autolock vena, I will briefly explain the steps. Like here, the file, the read molecule. This is to read the protein. Okay, this step we will follow to prepare the protein. Okay, and while preparing the protein, what are the things need to be done? Very first thing we need to minimize the protein structure. Energy minimization should be done. We have to add the hydrogen bonds. Okay, we have to add the required charge. Like we need to charge the protein as well. Okay, these are the things we do in the protein while preparing the protein structure for the docking. Before docking, you need to prepare, and it is not for only for autodock vena, it is for any tool you will be using. These are the things you have to do. Okay. So one more thing, the autodock vena works on the PDB-QT format. Okay, we have done the PDB. Remember, PDB-QT format is the advance of the PDB only. It contains the additional information as well. Okay, so your ligand and your protein both will be converted into the PDB-QT only. And from here, you will prepare your ligand. Okay, in the ligand also, the ligand definitely no need to minimize it. Okay, you just have to add the hydrogen bonds. Okay, this torsion angles, if you want to make some angles are there, some sorry bonds are there which are not moving, you can make them move. Some slight changes if you want to do, but that at the higher level. In the beginning, you don't need to do that. You just prepare your protein and make it into the PDB-QT, prepare your ligand and make it into the PDB-QT, and both PDB-QT files further submitted to the autodock vena. Autodock vena is a command line tool. The command will be there. Okay. All right. Now we are having the structure of the protein. Got it. We got it from the RCSB PDB. We have the lead compounds also from the PubChem, from the drug bank. We got it. We have docked them as well, and we have identified 100 of the compounds which are binding to the active site of the protein. Now the next question is whether these are safe or not. Okay, and how we will check the safety with the ADMET properties. ADMET stand for the absorption, distribution, metabolism, excretion, and toxicity. Okay, the drug should be absorbed, it should be distributed, it should be metabolized, it should excrete out once the function is done, and it should not be toxic. Okay, there are many tools available, online tools. The Swiss admin is there, FAF drugs is there. Okay, so these are the tools which are available, which will let you know the compounds you are working on, whether they are safe to use or not. One more thing. At this step, at this stage, basically, we are checking the properties of the compound. It's okay. But at the clinical trial, before clinical trial, also the properties will be checked at the higher level, at the experimental level. Okay. So it is better we check these admin properties at this level. So the chances of failure at that level will be reduced. So when we talk about the admin properties, like for example, any compound is there, and if you want to make the drug of that compound, there are few properties that need to be keep in mind while making a compound, a drug. The Lipinski rule of 5 is there. Okay, so basically this Lipinski rule of 5 to basically help us to distinguish between the drug-like and non-drug-like molecule. Okay, it helps you to identify or to predict the high probability of the success or failure due to drug likeness of the molecules. Okay, so it is not necessary all 5 rules of Lipinski will be followed. If 3 rules are following, if the compound is following any three rules, then also it will be passed. Okay, what are these three rules? The molecular mass should be less than 500 Dalton. But you will see that many drugs are there which are more than 500 Dalton. Okay, but that doesn't mean they fail. They are like another things are there which are, you know, somehow making them good drug. The high lipophilicity. Okay, it should be highly lipophilic. That means this lipophilicity is expressed with the low P, and the value should be less than 5. It should be less than 5 hydrogen bond donor, and it should be less than 10 hydrogen bond acceptor. Okay, you will see all the this Lipinski rule of 5, all the rules are multiple of 5. That is why we call the rule of 5. This molar refractivity between this 4 to 130, this is less considered rule. We may majorly consider these four rules. And why we call them Lipinski rule of 5? Because all the numbers are multiples of 5. Okay, so these 4 rules or 5 rules we have to consider while making a compound into a drug. Okay, that is what your admin properties. Now fine, we have done till here. The structure is there, the docking has been done, the properties of the compound also have been studied. Now the question is, we have to do the molecular dynamic simulation. What is the meaning of molecular dynamic simulation? And it is a dynamic, that means how the things are moving, how the things are working over the time, how they are evolving, how they are moving, how they are working basically. Okay, simulation is what? To trying to mimic the molecular behavior. For example, just imagine we are working on the human organism for one particular disease we are working on. So once the docking is done, we have a list of compound which we consider, which we understand that could be the potential drugs for this particular disease. Okay, now what we have to do, we have to, like, we can't directly give it to the human. Okay, we can't directly go for the animals as well. We have to somehow mimic the system. Mimic the system, that means we have to arrange, we have to make the things with the equal temperature, equal pressure, everything should be similar. And in that particular given environment, how your drug and ligand is working. Okay, sorry, drug and target is working. Okay, the very first thing we understand with the molecular dynamic simulation, that is the stability. Stability means during the docking, we have checked that the drug or the ligand is binding to the protein, and it is binding to the active site as well, and with the lesser binding affinity. All the things are good. But now the question is, for how long it may remain stable? That is the biggest question. Okay. For example, they are binding together, a little bit temperature, little bit pressure is there, they will remain unbound. Okay, the ligand is somehow drifting away from the protein. Then what? It will not do it. It will not do now whatever it has been designed for, whatever we are looking for. No, it will not do that. So we have to mimic the organism for which you are working on. In that mimic, the whatever the behavior, the temperature, the pressure, equilibrate. We have to equilibrate everything. So many things will be there. Okay, all these are pre-designed. We just have to run your part. Okay. So this molecular dynamic, it calculates the time-dependent behavior of the molecular system to understand the system in better way. Okay, and what is that better way? For how long the drug remains stable in the protein. The stability is the most important thing. Okay, if the drug is not stable, that is of no use. Whether it is a good hit, whether it is like very good ADME properties, everything, but if it not remains stable in the protein, it is of no use. That's what your molecular dynamic simulation determines. Now here the different types of dynamic simulations are there based on the level, basically different level, coarse grain, atomic, or the subatomic level. At what level you are doing, that depends. Okay. This basically this coarse grained molecular dynamic for the mesoscale modeling. Okay, basically it is beyond the atomic level, at the residue level. Basically it works at the residue level, but we have to work on the atomic level. Okay, so here that is why we will be doing the molecular dynamic. It is the computer simulation method which analyze the physical movement of atoms and molecules that we have to consider. Okay, the quantum dynamics, that is a subatomic, it works on the electronic or the subatomic level. Okay, so all are time dependent only in the like how they are according to time, how they are behaving, but at what level we have to select, that is up to you. Okay, this course